Today, we're going to speak about the discipline that is required to manifest what you want. Manifestation can come across as quite fluffy or woo-woo, as people like to call it, dismissing it as something that's not that important or effective. But the truth is, in order to become a manifestation master, you've got to be pretty badass. This is not the path for the faint of heart. This is the path of great courage. It takes a huge amount of courage to take consistent action, consciously creating something that you want that doesn't exist yet. Manifestation mastery can trigger so many fears, doubts, emotions, past trauma. It can be very stressful, in fact, moving towards what you want, because this means leaving behind the old version of yourself, old ways of doing things, letting go. And a part of our brains just do not like that. It can feel very risky and very scary. What I've learned over doing this work for many years, I've been playing with this personally for over 20 years and professionally for over 15 years. I call this manifestation mastery because in order to manifest what you want, you need to be very disciplined. You need to be consistent and you need to stay focused. And this world is filled with so many distractions. So many things are pulling your time, pulling your energy, pulling your focus. So many stories and beliefs around what's possible and what's not possible. It takes discipline to stay focused on what you want and who you must become in order to manifest that. I like to see manifestation mastery as going to the gym. When it comes to money manifestation, I call it going to the money gym. You need to train yourself each and every day. This is training yourself on a mind level, on an emotional level, on a body level, on a nervous system level, keeping you in alignment and in connection with what you want and who you must become in order to manifest that. You are going to hit up against obstacles, challenges as you move forward from where you are now to where you want to be. It's similar if you're going to the gym and you're weight training and you're wanting to get stronger. Maybe you have the vision of lifting 100-kilogram weight, so strong, but you've only just begun. And maybe you start at 5-kilogram weights or 10-kilogram weights. You need to practice consistently doing those weights to build that strength one day at a time, one rep at a time. And every time you're lifting those weights, you want to be pushing to failure. You want to be lifting until you can't lift anymore and then rest. You lift and rest and lift and rest. And slowly but surely, if you're consistent, showing up consistently, doing it consistently, you will build strength one step at a time. You're not going to magically get to the 100-kilogram weights. It requires discipline. It requires consistency. And it also means being with failure. And when it comes to weight training, we know that that's a normal thing to think about. But when it comes to manifestation, this is where people really block themselves from staying in the manifestation game. You need to have your daily practice. So when it comes to manifesting, this is doing your manifestation practice each and every day, connecting to what you want, calling it in, becoming the version of yourself that has already manifested that result, being disciplined with the mind, what you're allowing yourself to think, being disciplined with the stories that you're telling yourself, rewriting those stories in alignment with where you're going, managing your emotions, balancing those emotional reactions, regulating your nervous system, calming down the body, embodying your wealth, coming into alignment with what it is that you want, and deep listening, tuning into the consciousness of your heart, body, and soul, future wealthy you, the version of yourself that's already manifested what you want, and listening to that part of you and taking consistent, aligned action in alignment with what you want. See, what happens is that when you start holding space for what you want, everything that is not that comes up. The thoughts, the beliefs, the stories come up. They're very, very loud. And what happens is most people get stuck in the story. So the discipline is to not get stuck in the story. We want to rewrite that story. Or emotions come up, such as fear, doubt, shame, worthiness, not deserving. Again, when people feel those emotions, they think it's bad, so they stop. Rather than learning how to manage those emotions, it's a process I call the fortune in your feelings, and come back into alignment. Also, your body can go into a fight, flight, freeze response. Your survival response kicks in. And most people will stop there because it feels bad or you feel unable to move through that. Manifestation masters know how to hack that system and come back into regulation by embodying your wealth. So most people are taking reactive action. And because it feels bad, there's a negative thought or story or belief, there's a negative emotion, or there's a negative reaction through the body, people assume it's bad. And then they stop and then they quit. Manifestation masters stay with the discomfort of change, the discomfort of all the thoughts, emotions, and physiological responses happening, and keep going through consistent aligned action. But just like in the gym, you got to push to failure. You're going to fail on this path. You're going to fall off the surfboard, so to speak. But we want to get back in the ring, back on the surfboard, back in the game each and every day. Of course, you're going to have those negative thoughts or beliefs or stories come up. Of course, you're going to have those emotions come up. Of course, your body's going to have those reactions. That's all normal. What's not normal is to have the discipline and practice of manifestation mastery and sticking to that each and every day. And what happens when you keep going slowly but surely is you start to rewire yourself, a process I call rewire to receive. You're training yourself ahead of time. You're doing the work ahead of time so that once you've manifested what you want, it just slipstreams in, it lands into your life, and it looks so easy and effortless and magical and wonderful. But you and I both know that you have done the work ahead of time for that manifestation to land. And also, the discipline is to have trust and faith in the process, trust and faith in the practice. And I know that this work works when you do the right steps in the right order with the right support. And this is what I am fiercely passionate about, is making sure that you are well supported in this work, because I struggled and suffered with this work for way too long because I was trying to do this by myself and I was figuring it out through failure after failure after failure over the last 20 years. And now I've figured out how to slipstream into success, guided by your heart, body, and soul, with a very simple but powerful step-by-step process. But because it can feel hard, it's so important that you're well supported so you stay in the game. Anyone who's successful in life has a support team. You also need a support team. This is training. This is manifestation mastery. We are building manifestation muscles, and it needs support. So this is a discipline. It is a practice. It needs your determination. It needs your consistency. So this is that powerful energy that is required behind the scenes. You need to get so clear, put that stake in the ground that this is what you want. You've got to want the result more than you want your comfort. So this is the fire that's going to be underneath you, driving you forward. But of course, the practice is taking you into a more relaxed, soft space. We relax so you can release and embody and receive and get clarity on that aligned action. So the practice is actually bringing you into a space of being, which is more of a flowing energy and a soft energy. But holding that is the discipline of the practice. Holding that is your determination to get the result that you want. Holding that is the consistency that's required to keep going through all the ups and the downs, to do the practice when you feel like it, to do the practice when you don't feel like it, to do it when you're feeling amazing, to do it when you're feeling terrible, and understanding that this practice will move you forward one step at a time. But it's not going to happen overnight. Yes, I have clients that manifest magically out of seemingly thin air, and I have done this as well. So we want to stay open to the play of that and the possibilities of everything that you want landing at any moment, every time. This is part of staying open and receptive. But the facts are there are some things you're going to have to build, you're going to have to create, and you're going to have to keep going one step at a time, especially when you're building things like a business or your financial future or a relationship or health. None of that happens overnight. You can get results quickly, but can you keep going with those results consistently? Mostly people fail at this path because they're thinking way too short term. They're thinking more like fast food manifestation rather than building, manifesting, creating something of substance. I want you to create wealth in every area of your life. And that is more of a long game. That needs you to be in the ring, day in, day out. Rest is really, really important. Resting and digesting is really, really important. And then you need to keep showing up, keep doing the work. So if you want any help with stepping into manifestation mastery and getting all the support that you need to win in this world of wealth, the Living Abundance team and I are here to support you. Come over to my website, larawaldman.com. We've got a wealth of resources ready and waiting for you. Also, you can apply for a free one-to-one wealth expansion session with me. We can get absolute clarity on what you want, what's blocking you or stopping you from manifesting what you want. And we'll leave the call with crystal clear aligned action, how to bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, manifestation mastery style. So I would love to hear what's landing for you in today's conversation in the comments below. Are you being disciplined with your practice? If not, why not? Let us know where you're at. We would love to hear. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel to never miss an episode. And I look forward to being with you again next time.